The stars were quiet that day, as if the whole galaxy was holding its breath. On the shining station of Carithus Prime, the Galactic Council gathered. The chamber was massive, filled with towering alien species, scaled, feathered, and plated, in armor. They ruled countless worlds, carried themselves like gods, and spoke as though their words shaped fate. And standing among them, alone but unbowed, was a human. His name was Elias Corrin, Earth's ambassador to the stars. He wore no armor, no weapons, only the black uniform of the Terran Diplomatic Corps, with a silver crest over his heart. He stood at the center of the chamber, eyes calm, posture straight, even as dozens of alien eyes burned with disdain. Humans were new to the council. They were young compared to the ancient empires gathered there. Many still thought Earth a backwater, a primitive world whose people stumbled too soon into the galactic stage. But Earth had sent Elias anyway. They said he had a voice of steel and a spirit that bent to none, and that day the galaxy would test it. The Spark, the council's high speaker, a serpentine being named Zithril, coiled high on her golden throne, looked down on Elias. "You humans," she hissed, her voice echoing across the chamber, "dared to question the council's decree? You think yourselves equal to us? You bring words when you should bring obedience." Elias did not bow. His voice carried with steady strength. "Earth will not bow to injustice. You tax the weak until they starve. You demand soldiers from worlds already broken. And now you come to us, demanding our young to fight wars that are not ours. No. Humanity refuses." Gasps rippled through the chamber. Defiance against the council was rare, fatal even. One of the armored delegates, a hulking Threxian warlord, stood. His claws clicked against the metal floor. "You speak too boldly, little human," he growled. "You forget your place." "I know my place," Elias said, unshaken, "and it is not beneath tyrants." The words struck harder than a blade. In the chamber of the council, silence followed, heavy, dangerous silence. Then the warlord moved. With a snarl, he struck Elias across the face. The sound cracked like thunder, echoing through the chamber. The human diplomat fell to the ground, blood streaking his cheek. The council watched, some with cruelty, some with pity, most with indifference. In their eyes it was done. Humans had been reminded of their place, but they did not know humans. The smile Elias did not cry out. He did not beg. He pressed a hand to the blood on his cheek, slowly rose to his feet, and then he smiled. It was not madness, not submission. It was a human smile, sharp with defiance forged from pain into fire. "You should not have done that," Elias said softly, almost kindly. The warlord sneered. "And why not?" "Because now," Elias whispered, his smile never faltering, "they're coming." And across the galaxy, as if the words were a signal, the stars trembled. The middle conflict. The council thought Earth weak because it had sent a diplomat instead of a general. They thought humans cowards because they sought peace instead of war. But humanity remembered its history. The council had studied human wars on paper, but they had not understood the truth. Violence was etched into Earth's bones, and war was the fire in its blood. Humans did not love war, but when forced into it, they became something unstoppable. When Elias's blood hit the floor of the council chamber, Earth received the message. And Earth did not send apologies. It sent fleets. From Sol, great armadas of steel and fire burst into the void, ships painted with the crest of Earth, their hulls bristling with railguns, plasma lances, and kinetic cannons. Fleets built not for conquest, but for survival. Ships born from centuries of fighting each other, perfected into engines of war. They crossed the stars faster than the council believed possible, striking with precision and fury. The Threxian, warlords who laughed at Elias, saw their homeworlds burn in storms of orbital fire. The avian Krith who mocked Earth's inexperience found their war fleets shattered, their skies filled with Terran missiles. And the serpentine high speaker Zithril learned that humans did not kneel. They dragged empires to the ground with them. But the greatest terror was not the ships, it was the humans themselves. They fought with a smile. On shattered worlds, in the choking smoke of battlefields, human soldiers grinned even as they bled. Their smiles were not joy, but a promise that no matter how much it cost, they would endure, and they would win. Aliens who met human eyes on the battlefield swore they saw madness. But it was not madness, it was resolve. The Council had struck one man. Humanity answered as one people. Elias returned as the war spread. Elias Corrin remained on Carithus Prime. They imprisoned him, thinking Earth would beg for his release. Instead, Earth's fleets drew closer, and the aliens guarding him began to fear the human prisoner more than the armies outside, because Elias never stopped smiling. When soldiers mocked him, he smiled. When they starved him, he smiled. Even when they whispered that Earth could never win against the galaxy, he smiled wider. "Do you not fear death?" one guard asked him once. "I do," Elias said. "But I fear chains more, and death is better company than slavery." The guard never spoke to him again. And then the day came. The walls of Carithus Prime trembled. Human ships had arrived. The defenses of the Council's capital fell one by one, not to overwhelming numbers, but to relentless determination. Every time a Terran ship was destroyed, 3 more seemed to appear. Every time a soldier fell, 2 more rose from the ashes. The Council, for all its empires and armies, had never faced such a foe. They had never faced humanity united. The final confrontation. The Council chamber, once a place of power, shook with the sound of battle outside. Alien leaders shouted in panic, demanding fleets that no longer answered, soldiers who no longer stood. The chamber doors blasted open, and human marines stormed inside, armor scarred, weapons smoking. At their front walked Elias Corrin. No longer a prisoner, he wore the same uniform, the bloodstain on his cheek still faintly visible. And still, he smiled. He looked up at Zithril, the High Speaker, trembling on her throne. "Do you see now?" Elias asked softly. "You thought striking me would break us, but you only reminded us who we are." Zithril hissed, voice shaking. You cannot rule the galaxy." Elias stepped closer, his marines fanning out around him. "Rule?" he said. "No, humanity never wanted to rule. We only wanted respect. And now you will remember this forever. Strike one of us, and you face all of us." His words echoed through the chamber. Behind him, the human marines raised their banners, the flag of Earth shining against the smoke. For the first time in history, the Galactic Council bowed, not from choice but from fear. Ending. The war ended not with treaties, but with silence. The Council's armies lay broken, their fleets scattered, their thrones cracked. Humanity did not conquer. When the Council begged for peace, humanity agreed, but on their terms. No more forced tribute. No more conscripted soldiers. No more chains. Elias Corrin lived to see it. He returned to Earth not as a prisoner, but as the man who smiled in the face of the galaxy's wrath and reminded humanity of its strength. And across the stars, whispers spread like fire. Aliens spoke of the humans who fought with smiles, who laughed in the face of death, who rose as one when one of their own was struck. The Council had thought humanity fragile. They had thought them weak. But when they struck a single diplomat, they met the truth. They met death, wearing a human smile.